Hi friends, just making sure it tells me that I'm live first. I think I am, but I just want to see. Okay, cool. So I just wanted to come live because our book club, Alchemizing Judgment, started last week, and it's at 6 p.m. every Monday, and I am reading to prepare for the call because we break it down, and I actually go through the book club with the group. Like, I'm going through my own transformation at any given time as well, so it's always refreshing to read my own writing. And I've been sharing Alchemizing Judgment, the 30 Days of AJ, which has been a ton of fun. If you've been reading along, I want to thank you, because whether you're reading and moving on, liking, hearting, loving, sharing, commenting, like, any level of participation is celebrated and welcomed. And then also, if I just want to take the opportunity that if you're reading it only on the Facebook posts, or if you've already read the book and you've bought it and you love it, I would love to encourage you to review it on Amazon. Even if you would review it from the excerpts that you've read, it's always helpful to have Amazon reviews, because that's how people find the book, right? Or how people decide to check out, put it in their cart, read it. So your guys' reviews are great. I can promote my book all day. People know I love my own work, but it's good when other people love it too. And I really, I did not choose this part of the book as one of the 30 Days of AJ, but it's front and center. So I'm going to read you two little pieces about why I was afraid to write and publish this book. Hi, Anne. I see some comments and stuff coming in. So I'm going to read to you, and I'm going to do a little bit of flipping, but let's see here. Okay. Welcome to a book dedicated to guiding you to tap into the endless wellspring of love, primarily located in the center of your chest. This book took some personal initiations, because once I received the inspiration to write it, I didn't exactly feel prepared to. Who am I to consider myself such an authority on judgment, being unbiased or lacking prejudice? I feared I feared this divine download and questioned God. I am nowhere near perfect or immune to humanness and subjectivity. Except instead of dialoguing with God about it, I just put it low on my priority list and focused on other projects. My ego wanted to write a few other books before this one. I could go on and on about that. I have plenty of books in me. I planned on writing this one in a few years' time, and yet within just a few months, I experienced mental, emotional, and spiritual growth spurts that would prepare me to sufficiently put these words to paper. Um, let's see, I'm gonna skip that specific part. And then this entire book is about your energy. Okay, so the work, skill, finesse, and mastery of alchemy, of being an alchemist, will be thoroughly explained throughout this book. What I would like to share in this preface is that you have the power and ability to alchemize. By definition, this means to turn one thing into another. By the definition of this book, it means to turn everything back into love. When I received the message to write this book, human Abigail felt fear and insecurity. I began to think of times I have and still judge harshly. I began to recall hurtful thoughts, words, and actions that have revealed my prejudices. Prejudice I? Prejudices. I definitely did not feel like I was the perfect person to channel and deliver this information. Maybe a saint, a preacher, or a world leader. I had resistance to being the one to bring this brilliance to you. Can you guess why? For fear of judgment. I was afraid that if I positioned myself as such an authority on this topic, I would be singled out for the times where my judgment has impacted others. I was nervous that people would ridicule, criticize, or question the methodology that I am about to present to you. I was definitely unsure about my future and how I might be pinned to an identity that is expected to be judgment-free, completely tolerant, all-loving, and utterly accepting. This felt daunting when this book started pushing its way through my being. Here is what I now know as a result of God's work in me. The contents of this book have been channeled through me as a vessel of divine intelligence. While I enjoy putting my name on the front of books, the messages I have published could have come through any one of us. It is time the world receives this concept explained this way. I happen to be the one allowing it to come through at this moment in humanity's timeline. As for this Abigail body, I am human. By way of being human, I am subjective. I have a thinking brain that calculates and makes predictions and assumptions. It is impossible for humans not to judge, perceive, react, and more. I am certain that as a human, I will make many mistakes and react impulsively for the rest of my life. Very true so far. The work of an alchemist is more a career or craft than a study for the test type of knowledge. It is wisdom to be attained and applied moment by moment. You have thousands of opportunities every single day to hone and utilize alchemy. I think that's where I want to stop. Let me make sure. I wanted to find the book. That was what I wanted to read. I want to thank you for picking up this book. I have no doubt it is in divine order, and I have complete trust that it is perfect for you at this time. May these pages unleash that beautiful heart of yours. Namaste. So this book is about turning everything back to love. This is not a book about being judgment-free. It is about learning how to alchemize, meaning taking judgment and upcycling it back to love. Understanding that people judge from ignorance, people judge from fear, from concern, from self-preservation and protection, from trauma triggers, or trauma response, right? So that judgment ultimately isn't, it doesn't have to be weaponized. It can be alchemized. And I was definitely scared to write this book. I faced a lot of resistance through the writing process, and it took me a little longer than normal to write a book because of just stepping out of the way to write it. And one more thing I want to say about this is it's the first book I had written probably 5 or 6. This was probably the 6th or 7th book I've written. It was the first book I ever wrote from page 1 to page like 200 something. Page 275. So like in order, word for word, page for page, chapter for chapter, that that's why I talk about how channeled this is I write in a different style. I write when and where I'm inspired. This came through in order. And it was quite a fascinating experience to do it. But I felt intimidated. I felt intimidated to position myself as I just shared all of that. And so I want to thank you guys a lot. You guys have been very interactive with the 30 days of AJ. There's still 5 more days, I think, right? 30th is the 25th. There's still 5 more days. I've been loving sharing it. This is my work. I love to write and I love to share. And so I just so deeply appreciate you. You guys, I'm seeing orders on Amazon and on abigailgazza.com for the book. It's so fun. It's so fun to share this. And I know, not for the vanity metrics, but I always talk about, like, I will commit my life to this being a New York Times bestseller, and that's a benchmark. But what I mean by that is selling that amount of books and putting this into the world, because this information is so potent. And so I encourage you, even if those little tidbits are tiny little sections of the chapters, and so definitely, if you're feeling inspired just by those, would love to encourage you to tune into the whole book. So it is dense, though. 275 pages of brilliance. Okay? All right, you guys, I love you. I'm going to keep reading on for our book club starting in 30 minutes. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful evening.